Shalom again, everybody. Ariel Tzadok here from the KosherTorah School, found online at www.koshertorah.com, bringing to you our next continuing lessons in my series, which I'm calling here Shemot Kodashim, the using of the holy name course. This is lesson number 3. And of course, this course is dedicated to, if you will, the expression of truth, based upon the verse Psalm 119, 126, Et lasot lashem heferu toratecha. The time has come to act for God because they've made void the Torah. Or, in other words, getting back to what this organization, we began in 1992. Gee, time flies when you're having fun. Originally, we were called the Yeshivat B'nai Nevi'im, the school of the Shiva of the children of the prophets, based upon the wise words of the sage Hillel in the Gemara, Masechet Pesachim, of course, where in which it says, we're not prophets, but we are their children. Based upon the teachings of the school of the prophet Elijah, we call it the Tana Deve Eliyahu, Eliyah Rabbah, chapter 9 for my rabbinic people there. It states, men and women, Jewish and Gentile, free person and slave, which has indeed interesting meanings for us today, all can receive what we call Ruach HaKodesh, based upon what we do. So you know what? Rather than deal with all the nonsense and the garbage that's out there today, proliferating on the internet, literally constipating the internet, we're going to get the real stuff out there. I'm going to teach the real deal. And as is my way here at the KosherTorah School, as you know, for anybody who's ever watched any of my videos, what you see is what you get. No fancy stuff here, no clear editings, no pie in the eye stuff. Well, here you're going to get the real deal. I quote you materials. I show you sources with the emphasis not on you believing me or following me. I'm not a leader of anybody. Well, I am, hopefully, your friend. Try to be, at least. I don't care what you are. Try to get along. If, God be willing, we can. But with that being said, what we need is experience. And like I said in the previous lessons, this is, again, the third lesson here. So in the previous, I've warned you. This is real deal stuff. And I'm going to give you now, in this class, a practical application, a real lesson in how to use power. I'm going to show you how we use the channel of the Sefirot, materialized through the projection of the letters, through the focused kavanah of the mind, to create material difference in our world. So, I've already given you all the preliminaries, all the warnings in the past, and I'm always going to begin every one of these classes with those words, because I know that a lot of you people are out there and you think you're holier than thou, you think you're smarter than whatever, and you know better, and you're going to cut this corner and you're going to do what you want to do because you know. Fine. Put that revolver to your head with the loaded bullet, pull the trigger, knock yourself out. See what happens. This is, again, just to digress for 1 second. Many of my rabbinic peers will, as I say, jump through hoops to try to encourage non-religious people to become religious. I don't believe in that. I believe that the words, ways of our higher spiritual selves, our Torah, are much more worthy than that. And if an individual chooses not to embrace their loss, it would be, for example, me offering you a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, in exchange for your old broken down Toyota. You said, no, I like my old broken down Toyota. Go for it. Enjoy your Toyota. All right? There's nothing wrong with Toyotas. My own mother, God rest her soul, enjoyed her Toyota till she passed. Okay, cool. Everybody has their choices. But I don't want you to think that the old Toyota is a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, because it's not. Hamavdil ben Kodesh l'Hol, we say, to separate between the holy and the profane. As long as you know, do what you want to do. I don't care, all right? I'm not God's policeman. I'm not in any place of authority. I'm not going to wag my finger and warn you what's going to happen in the afterlife. You will deal with it. Right now, I worry about this world because the Torah teaches us, lo b'shamayim hi. The Torah is not in heaven. I don't worry about what's going on in heaven. I don't worry about what's going on with the angels. I worry about the here and now. And here and now, we got a lot of stuff that we got to deal with. Read the newspapers. Right now, I think the greatest force that we have to deal with, call it evil, but I don't know if evil is, it's a relative term. And everybody has their own imagined images of what evil is, and demons and all this other weirdo stuff. But the Hebrew term, which everybody adopts as evil, of course, is Satan. But Satan is not a name, all right? There's no angel in heaven whose name is Satan. You don't go up to heaven and go, hey, Satan, what's going on, man? No, it's not like that. The Hebrew word is Satan, and it's actually a description. It means prosecutor. And whenever you see it in the Bible, it always says, Satan, the prosecutor. We never actually get his name, only his title. Look at Job, Zechariah, and the rest. You'll see this is true. Well, the Satan, the prosecutor, whether or not is an actual force as personified in Zoharic, and later Kabbalistic Midrash. Remember, those are embellished stories. There are real jinn out there. There are real shadim out there. There are real bad spirits out there. But you know something? Deal with the spirits inside here. Those are the ones that are going to connect you out there. They're not inside you. They're not going to be anywhere outside you connecting in either. So how do we get rid of all this stuff? How do we cleanse it out? How do I get rid of opposition? Well, the word Hasatan, the prosecutor, those are the forces that are in opposition to you. And needless to say, you got to get rid of those oppositional forces so you can move forward. If you're moving forward in a proper and a good direction, then you will find that the oppositional forces opposed to you are easy to neutralize. Of course, if you're going in a negative direction and you're trying to oppose the forces of the universe of God, well, that might be a wee bit more difficult. And the more you push against it, well, the universe will push back against you. Who do you think is stronger, you or the universe? Meaning the hand of God, right? Nature itself, hat teva, all right? It means the natural way. Gematria, numerical value, Elohim, God. Here's our sheet again. You'll see it, copies in the links. We have an understanding that the first 42 letters of the Bible in numerical code changes form what we call this 42-letter name of God. It is actually 7 sections of 6 letters. The second of the 7 is this one here. All right, see it right there. Very popular. Now, this actually is put in the form of a prayer. Ana bekoach gitulat yememecha yemir tzirura. Right? Well, anyway, I messed that up. But anyway, the prayer is fine, lovely, but that's not where the power is. The prayer is just like a mnemonic to help you remember the letters in their order. So this here, all right, you could read that as kara, which means to rip or to tear. I have the PDF which explains all of this. It will be in the links to this class as well. Go look it up. And then there's our name, Satan. Okay? How to pronounce it is irrelevant. We're not interested in looking for words or anything else. If you want a lot deeper understanding of the 42, and of course we'll get into the 72-letter name, triad name as well, in later classes in this series. But take my big Jewish magic course with all the holy names, Shemot Kodashim. It's on my KosherTorah.com page. And remember, please, it's in English. If you don't understand English, right, you get it, MP3, it's audio, it's in English. So, yeah, okay. Now, according to Rabbi Chaim Vital, he understood, even though he didn't put in these exact words, but he understood the intent, that whenever you're going to use a name like this is only the form. Remember we learned in the Sefer Yetzirah with letters? Well, it's got to be activated by the Sefirot. The Sefirot are represented by the name of God, Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei. So we take Yud and we put Hey, Vav, Hey with each of these. You got these 3 letters. So we put the name Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei with the 3 knitted together. It's called the Shiluv. And then the last 3. Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei with those 3. This again is a Shiluv. Now, People get all caught up. What are the proper vowels? Well, in the Abulafian prophetic system, we go to what's called the raw energy, the raw power. The raw power is what we call hehotam, the opening of the seals of the basic letters, the basic vowels of the letters. Go look at my book, Walking on the Fire, and a million other places. I talk all about this, all from Abulafia. You'll see it in Halei Olam Haba, which we're going to have translations of, kind of this course coming up, and the like. But now, getting back to business. I don't need an hour to explain to you what to do. I can explain it to you in 10 minutes, and that's what we're going to do right now. Here it is. All right? There's transliteration. Remember, Hebrew we read from this way to that, and English you read from that way to that. And you're going to recite. Say it out loud? Yeah, Sulam Aliyah says to do that. Abulafia says to do that. Hey, I don't make this stuff up. If the great and holy sages before me did it like that, then that's what I do too. And I'll tell you, I've chanted this stuff. And, some I haven't been struck down by lightning. I'm not dead. Angels aren't coming and getting me. They haven't told me, I'm going to hell in the afterlife or any of this other kind of superstitious nonsense. But at the same time, remember, you have a commandment. What are the 10 commandments? Don't take God's name in vain. You're going to use this. You better take it seriously. Like I said, this is a loaded gun. Don't play with it. The way you use the name, the way is to understand what it is and how it's used. Here we go. Kara, the word would actually mean to tear or to rip. Satan, the Satan, opposition. So this name, part and parcel of the energy within creation itself, is the removal of opposition. How do I remove opposition? Take the letters Yud Ke Vav Ke, knit it with these letters, and I create a chant. Okay? There are, count the letters, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on each time. 4 Yud Ke Vav Kes, 3 of the triads, twice. 14. 14 is hand, yad, and you call that the hand of God. So you could chant it maybe 14 times if you're so inclined. You can chant it 28 times. You can chant it 280 times. The point is not the number. The point is your intent, or what we call your kavanah. You must remember what you're supposed to be doing. This is only a tool. This is only a form through which you're projecting energy. All energy is center column, Sefirot energy. Malchut to Yesod, Yesod to Tiferet, through the dot to Keter. Keter is your will. Dot is your inner knowing. Tiferet is your heart, your gut. Yesod, genitalia. It is your libido, your kundalini, which materializes all in the world of Malchut form. So real psychic energy is not intellectual, it is emotional. That's how come all parapsychology is wrong, because they go and look in the wrong direction. Don't think that, in quote, the powers that be don't know this. They do. Okay? Another reason why they keep things quiet. But anybody who's ever known anything about the power of what we call supernatural, whatever else, they all know this, right? God requires of you the heart. Remember it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart. The words I command you this day upon your heart. Well, that's what we're talking about, heart. Letter, the word, heart. Lamed bet, right? Bet, first letter of the Torah. Lamed, last letter of the Torah. There you go, there's your heart. You have to have the passion, you have to have the guts, you have to have the will, you have to have the desire, you have to be hungry. If you have an opposition that needs to be destroyed, you therefore have to arouse your will, your passion, your heart, and you will visualize and focus a mental image of what it is. And you will chant this name upon it in your imagination. And you will see that which is in your imagination. All right, you have to visualize this. Imagine it being ripped apart, broken, destroyed. And the power of your will, your heart, your heshek, your passion, is going to be, the image in your mind, that's your kavanah, is going to be projected through the sound waves that are coming through this combination of sounds. And that intent through those sounds are going to materialize in whatever ethers that are out there, working to materialize the actual fulfillment of that which you seek and that which you're doing. Now, be careful, because what you are here doing is projecting what we call gevurah, or severity energy. Big problem with severity energy is, like the old saying, what goes around comes around. What you project out is going to come back to you. So therefore, if you have any segment, any element of similarity, compatico, within yourself, well, this energy is going to come and tear apart that part within you. And like I said, loaded gun, put it to your head and blow your brains out. But this is how you're going to learn to have respect and awe for the psychic spiritual truths. And that's what's so necessary in this world of clouded darkness. Got to shine the light, and it's got to come through. So, when there is an opposition to holiness, opposition to the fulfillment of all things good, what you need to do, not to do this generically, nebulously, behold, I'm projecting to get rid of all the evil in the world. That ain't going to do it. That's not going to cut it. Why? Because you need to focus like a light. All right, I got light here in the room, but it needs to be focused into a laser beam. And in the laser beam will come the power. You have to focus it in a specific direction, a specific cause. So let's say you have an obstacle in your personal life. What is it? It might be something financial. It might be something health related. It might be something in whatever area. Something's holding you back. Materialize what that is in some imagined form in your mind. Maybe consider it like a big black ball or a dark evil image dressed in black robes if you want. And then visualize as if your mind is projecting light, but the light is actually coming out through these sounds and hitting that, like, if you will, a martial arts battle in some computer game. And as the entity of light which you are projecting through these sounds, you materialize the tearing apart, the opposition of your specific opposition. And that is why and how this works. A, you have to have the imagined form of this activating in your mind at the same time that you're presenting and pronouncing the sounds. 2, you must have something specific and not general or generic. So you can't say, I'm going to remove all opposition to the coming of Mashiach. Too grand, too grandiose. You have to focus on a narrow beam, and that is projected energy. But warning, warning, if you think you're going to use this in an evil form, you're going to hurt somebody by removing them or one from your life, remember, what goes around comes around. And instead of it hurting someone else, it will come back in greater force to hurt you. Heard it here first, guys. So don't mess around. You have to be kadosh, proper with God. Your heart has to be pure and sincere with heaven. And what you do must be, for, as we say, for the sake of heaven, l'shem shamayim. And if you're doing in the name of heaven what you believe is right and holy and good and true, then try it. And if somehow, some way, the Satan, the opposition, the prosecutor looks and says, hey, this is what this guy's trying to do to us. Isn't that what he's doing to others as well? Your own judgment will be what you are judged. Be careful. I'm giving you stuff that's powerful here. Use it with wisdom. Okay? Purify yourselves. Be right with God. Be right with Torah. Do what's necessary. And give glory to heaven. right? Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. All right. On that note, practice. Focus your mind, get your sounds together, and become an agent of light. Become a true knight of holiness. You can do this. Doesn't matter who you are. Make it so. Talk to you all later. Next class.